All right, in this part two, we're gonna dive deep into the for of loop, and we're gonna learn how to make this object iterable. Okay. Now, I have an object, and here I have an array. When I do a for of loop, only the array works. Right. Now I'll delete the array. Now it says it can't do that on the object because it is not iterable. But as we said before, underneath the hood, arrays are just objects with a special something. Now we're going to find out what that something is. So to make an object iterable, there's a lot of things that you need. Let's go over them. First of all, one of its methods must be this well-known symbol, symbol.iterator. So here it has 4 keys. Then the next one is going to be symbol.iterator. Now we have to use square brackets because it's a symbol. So underneath the hood, this is a specially generated key name designed to create iterator functions for objects so they can turn into array-like structures, right? Okay, so function, you can't put anything in the arguments. Now, inside of this function, what must it return? Well, it says this method must return an object. So let's do that first, return an object. Okay, and then we see on line 3, this object right here must have a next method. Okay. So next, and I'll use an arrow function, we'll see why. Now, this next method also needs to return what? Another object. Okay. So right now, I'm just going to do const next obj is going to be equal to an object, but this object needs these. It needs a property called value. So when we're looping, if we console.log, it says no, true. So where it's getting these values are from this object right here. Okay. So how do we get the correct value here? Well, we can do that with the this keyword at count. And then also, it must have a property named done with either true or false. Okay. Now, how do we know when it's done? Well, that's where we need if statements. So if count is less than however many key value pairs we have, then we'll continue to run, right? But how do we find out how many property and key value pairs we have? There's no .length property on an object. Well, we can do object.keys, passing in this, okay, and then we can say .length. Okay. Now, outside of the if statement, okay, actually, we still need to increase the count by 1. Now, outside of it, this outside line will only run when count is either equal to or greater than the length that we have. So that means we're done. So we can just copy this. So this means at our last index, our value will still be this.count, but our done is now true. Okay. And then now, if I uncomment this, oh, line 22. Oh, I forgot to return. And then also here, you have to return our next obj. Okay, so now you see that this actually worked. It console.logs no, true, hi, and bye. So look, we took an object, we implemented the correct iteration protocol, meaning just having a simple iterator function. And inside that function, we have a next method, and that next method returns an object with value and done. And we need to check if it's done false or done true. Okay? So that's all the iteration protocol is. Okay. What if we make this return a value of count and then plus blah, 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 blah. Let's see what we get. See? Now all of our values have that attached. So we kind of actually modified how the for of loop works. But the for of loop works by looking at the iteration protocol for either arrays, strings, maps, or sets. Okay? So arrays, built-in arrays have their own simple iterator, especially for arrays. Same thing with strings, same thing with maps and sets. But here in ES6, we get to define our own symbol iterators for our own custom objects. So it gives us a lot more freedom to do cool stuff.